The security guard's knee digs into Kweku's back as the handcuffs bite into his wrists. Please, I was just helping her get home. His voice cracks against the concrete driveway of the massive East Legon mansion. The guard presses harder. Shut up. We know your type. Prey on old people, then rob them. Kweku's Manchester United jersey is torn at the shoulder. His wheelbarrow sits abandoned by the blue metal gate. Mama Efua's small handbag still tucked between the wooden slats where she'd been sitting just minutes before. But let's rewind 6 hours. The young man was counting phone cards at his usual spot near Makola Market when he spotted her. An elderly woman in a blue and white head wrap sitting right in his wheelbarrow like she owned it. Auntie, what are you doing? He approached carefully. Old people could be tricky customers. She looked up with confused eyes. Kwame, you came back. My name is Kweku, not Kwame. He noticed her expensive cloth, the gold earrings. This woman had money. Where are you going? Home. She clutched a small button in her palm. The big house with the blue gate. My Akosua is waiting. The vendor glanced around. No family members searching. No car waiting. Just this lost old woman who somehow knew his wheelbarrow was safe. Which area? East Legon? Airport Residential? Her face went blank. Blue gate. Big house. The smart move would have been to call the police. Let them handle it. But Kweku had learned not to trust police with anything, especially not when he was involved. Okay, Auntie, we find your house. He helped her settle properly in the wheelbarrow, her small frame fitting easily between the wooden sides. She kept calling him Kwame and trying to feed him invisible food from her hands. You too thin, Kwame. Eat. The first blue gate belonged to a Lebanese family. The security guard took one look at the street vendor and shook his head before he could even speak. The second blue gate led to a compound with 3 houses. None of the residents recognized the elderly woman. By the third blue gate, Kweku had spent his entire day's earnings on trotro fare. His regular customers would be looking for him. Uncle Kofi would be wondering where he was, but something about this woman made him keep searching. Maybe it was how she trusted him completely. Maybe it was how she straightened his collar like she'd done it 1,000 times before. This one, she announced suddenly as they approached a mansion in East Legon. The gate was indeed blue, freshly painted, with security cameras and warning signs. The young man pushed the wheelbarrow up to the intercom. Hello? I have someone here looking for a Kosua. The security guard emerged from his booth, took one look at the scene, and everything went wrong fast. Step away from the woman. Wait, I'm just helping. Get down on the ground now. The old woman started crying as the guard grabbed Kweku's arm. Don't hurt Kwame. He's a good boy. I'm not kidnapping her. The vendor's voice rose as the guard forced him to his knees. She was lost. I was helping, but the guard had already radioed for backup. Within minutes, 2 more security men arrived, then police. Now Kweku lies face down on expensive concrete, watching his wheelbarrow through the corner of his eye. Everything he owns is in that wheelbarrow. His phone cards, his small notebook, his day's earnings. The elderly woman keeps saying his name wrong and trying to convince the guards that he belongs here. Kwame lives here, she insists. With me and Akosua. Ma'am, this boy is not your family, the head guard states firmly. He was trying to rob you. The young man's scar throbs against the handcuffs. His tongue clicks involuntarily. 3 years of building trust with customers, gone. 1 arrest record and he'll never be allowed to trade near the market again. Car tires crunch on gravel. What's happening here? A woman's voice, sharp with authority. Kweku can't turn his head to see, but he hears expensive heels clicking across the driveway. Ma'am, we caught this criminal with the old woman. Probably drugged her and was bringing her here to case the house. Get off him. The voice is closer now. Mama Efua, is that you? The pressure on his back eases slightly. He lifts his head and sees polished black shoes, tailored pants. Akosua! The elderly woman's voice brightens. Kwame brought me home. Good boy, this Kwame. The street vendor finally sees the woman's face. Mid-30s, expensive glasses, the kind of controlled beauty that comes with serious money. She's staring at the old woman with recognition and something else. Something like shock. Mama Efua, what are you doing here? Where is Doctor? Yeah, but the elderly woman just keeps pointing at Kweku. Kwame came back. Just like I knew he would. The rich woman's eyes move from the old woman to the young man's face. Her expression changes. The notebook in her hand trembles slightly. What did you say his name was? This criminal's name is irrelevant, ma'am. We're pressing charges. But the woman isn't listening to her security guard anymore. She's staring at Kweku like she's seen a ghost. Mama Efua, she whispers. What did you call him? Kwame. The old woman smiles. My little Kwame came back to me. And that's when the rich woman's face goes completely white. Take the handcuffs off him, now. Akosua's voice cuts through the evening air like a blade. The security guard hesitates. Ma'am, this boy was clearly... I said now. The handcuffs click open. Kweku rubs his wrists and scrambles to his feet, ready to grab his wheelbarrow and run. But something in the way this woman stares at him makes him freeze. Mama Efua, how did you get here? The businesswoman approaches the elderly woman carefully, like she might disappear. Kwame brought me. Mama Efua reaches up to straighten the young man's torn collar. Good boy. Always takes care of me. The street vendor steps back. Lady, I don't know what's happening here, but I just found her at the market. She said she lived at a house with a blue gate. Akosua's eyes dart between him and Mama Efua. You found her where exactly? Makola Market, sitting in my wheelbarrow like she belonged there. And you brought her here because? Kweku's tongue clicks. This woman thinks he's running some kind of scam. Because she was lost. What kind of person leaves an old woman wandering around confused? The kind who might want a reward for returning her safely. The accusation hits like a slap. The young man's hands curl into fists. You think I'm here for money? Aren't you? Lady, I spent my whole day's earnings on Trotro Fair looking for your blue gate. His voice echoes off the mansion walls. I could have called police, could have left her there, could have minded my own business. Mama Efua starts rocking back and forth in the wheelbarrow. Don't shout. Kwame doesn't like shouting. The businesswoman adjusts her glasses, studies the vendor's face like she's trying to solve a puzzle. What's your real name? Kweku Asante. Something flickers across her features. Asante? Yes, Asante. You want to see my voter ID card? Before she can answer, Mama Efua starts humming, a soft, familiar melody that makes Akosua's pen stop tapping. Mama Efua, where is Dr. Ya? How did you get to the market? The elderly woman's humming stops. Her eyes go distant. Market? I don't. Who is Dr. Ya? Your son, the doctor. I don't have a son. Mama Efua looks genuinely confused. I have Akosua and Kwame, my children. The businesswoman's notebook slips from her hands. Mama Efua, I'm Akosua. Remember? You used to make me tea with condensed milk when I couldn't sleep. Akosua? The old woman squints. You're too old to be Akosua. Akosua is 19. Cries too much since her parents died. The words hang in the air like smoke. Kweku watches this rich woman's face crumble. Whatever game he thought was being played, this isn't it. Mama Efua, that was 16 years ago. I'm 35 now. 16 years? The elderly woman laughs. Don't be silly. Yesterday I made fufu for you and Kwame. He ate 3 balls. Growing boy. She turns to the street vendor and mimes putting food in his mouth. Eat, Kwame. You too thin. The young man doesn't move. This old woman is seriously confused, but something about her gesture feels familiar, like muscle memory. Ma'am, he says quietly to the businesswoman, I think she has dementia. I know what she has. Akosua's voice is tight. She was my nanny, before she got sick. Your nanny? For 2 years after my parents died. She took care of me and my little brother. The words hit Kweku like cold water. Your little brother? He disappeared the night our parents were killed. Car accident. He was only 3 years old. Mama Efua claps her hands suddenly. Kwame was 3. Such a good boy. Never cried even when the loud noises came. The businesswoman's pen starts tapping again. 3 quick taps, pause, 3 more. What loud noises, Mama Efua? The cars. The screaming. The hospital machines. The elderly woman's voice drops to a whisper. I couldn't find him after. Looked everywhere. But I knew he'd come back. Car headlights sweep across the driveway. A Honda Civic pulls up to the gate. That's Dr. Ya, Akosua announces. Her son. A tall, thin man emerges from the car, medical bag in hand. He takes one look at the scene and his face hardens. Mama, what are you doing here? I told you to wait at home. Yeah, Mama Efua brightens. Look, Kwame came back. The doctor's eyes land on Kweku with immediate suspicion. Who is this boy? What does he want? I don't want anything, the street vendor says quickly. I was just helping her get home. Helping himself to whatever he could get, more likely. Doctor. Ya approaches his mother. Mama, this boy is not Kwame. Kwame was lost a long time ago. No! The elderly woman's voice rises. This is Kwame. Look at his eyes. Same eyes. She grabs the young man's face with surprising strength, forcing him to look at Akosua. Same eyes as Akosua. Same nose. Same stubborn mouth. The doctor gently pulls his mother's hands away. Mama, you're confused. This happens when you get tired. But the businesswoman isn't moving. She's staring at Kweku's face like she's seeing it for the first time. Doctor, yeah, she says slowly. How long did your mother work for my family? 2 years. From when you were 19 until she got too attached and I had to remove her. Too attached to what? The physician hesitates. To the memory of your brother. She kept insisting he was still alive, that she would find him. Mama Efua starts singing again. The same lullaby, but this time Akosua joins in unconsciously, her voice barely a whisper. Kweku knows that song. Uncle Kofi used to hum it when he thought the boy was sleeping. Where did you learn that song? The businesswoman asks him. I don't know. I've always known it, Doctor. Yaw checks his watch. This is ridiculous. Mama, we're going home. And you, he points at the street vendor, stay away from my mother. But Mama Efua isn't listening. She's digging in her pocket, pulling out buttons and coins and bottle caps. Finally, she finds what she's looking for, a small, faded photograph. See, she says triumphantly. I told you Kwame would come back. The photograph shows a toddler with a distinctive birthmark on his left palm. Kweku looks down at his own left hand, at the exact same scar he's had his whole life. The photograph trembles in Mama Efua's weathered fingers. Nobody speaks. The only sound is the hum of the mansion's security lights and distant traffic from the Spintex Road. Kweku stars at his left palm. The scar runs from his thumb to his wrist, a jagged line he's carried since before memory. Uncle Kofi always said it happened when he was small, something about falling glass. Let me see that picture. Akosua's voice is barely audible. The elderly woman clutches it protectively. My Kwame? I kept it safe, Doctor. Ya moves closer to his mother. Mama, where did you get this? I've never seen it before. Hidden. Had to hide it. They said forget, but I don't forget my children. The businesswoman extends her hand slowly. Please, Mama Efua, let me see. The old woman studies her face, recognition flickering in and out like a faulty bulb. Finally, she places the photograph in Akosua's palm. The image is faded but clear. A chubby toddler laughing, left hand raised toward the camera. The birthmark is unmistakable. The wealthy woman's breathing changes. Short, quick breaths. This is impossible. The doctor snatches the photo. Mama has dementia. She collects random pictures, thinks they're family. That's not random. Akosua's pen taps frantically. I remember this photo. It was taken at my parents' house 3 days before the accident. Kweku backs toward his wheelbarrow. This is getting too crazy too fast. Rich people and their family drama. He needs to get home before Uncle Kofi starts drinking. Where are you going? The businesswoman's voice stops him. Home. This is none of my business. Show me your hand. What? Your left hand. Show me the scar. The street vendor hesitates, then extends his palm. The scar catches the security light, pale against his dark skin. Doctor, Ya examines the photo again, then looks at the young man's hand. His medical training kicks in. Scars can happen to anyone. This proves nothing. It proves enough. Akosua's voice is steady now, controlled. Doctor, Ya, I need you to tell me exactly what happened the night my parents died. Why are we doing this? My mother is confused. This boy is an opportunist. Tell me what happened. The shout echoes across the compound. Even the security guards turn to look. The physician adjusts his glasses. Fine. Your parents were killed in a car accident on the Tema motorway. You were injured but stable. Your brother was in critical condition. And then? He disappeared from the hospital. The authorities assumed he died and the body was misplaced. Happens more often than you'd think. Kweku's tongue clicks. Bodies don't just get misplaced. You'd be surprised what happens in government hospitals, Dr. E. Ya says coldly. Especially 16 years ago. Mama Efua starts rocking again. No, no, no. Kwame didn't die. I would know. Mothers know. You're not his mother, the doctor says gently. You were the nanny. Same thing. Her voice is fierce. I fed him, bathed him, sang to him. When his sister cried, I held them both. The businesswoman's pen stops tapping. What did you sing to us? The elderly woman's voice rises in the familiar lullaby. This time, Kweku finds himself humming along without thinking. The sound stops everyone cold. How do you know that song, Doctor? Ya demands. The street vendor's mouth goes dry. My uncle used to sing it. What uncle? Uncle Kofi. He raised me. Where are your parents? Dead. Car accident when I was small. The silence stretches like a rubber band about to snap. Akosua pulls out her phone. What's your uncle's full name? Kofi Mensah. Why? Her fingers fly across the screen. Where does he work? Construction. Sometimes security. Why are you asking me this? Because 16 years ago, there was a security guard named Kofi Mensah working at Ridge Hospital. The young man's wheelbarrow suddenly feels very far away. That's impossible. Uncle Kofi never worked at any hospital. According to employment records, he did. Night shift security terminated without notice the day after your parents' accident. The doctor grabs the phone. Let me see that. His face changes as he reads. This can't be right. What can't be right? Kweku's voice cracks. My mother always insisted someone took the boy from the hospital. She said she saw a security guard carrying him out, but nobody believed her. They said her grief was making her imagine things. Mama Efua claps her hands. I told them Kwame was alive. The street vendor's legs feel weak. Uncle Kofi wouldn't. He found me. He saved me. Saved you from what? The businesswoman steps closer. From the streets. My parents died and I had nowhere to go. He took me in. When exactly did your parents die? The young man's mind races. Uncle Kofi always said it was a long time ago when Kweku was too young to remember. I don't know the exact date. What do you remember about before Uncle Kofi? Nothing. I was too small, Doctor. Ya checks his watch nervously. This is all speculation. Coincidences happen. But Mama Efua is digging in her pockets again. More buttons, more coins, more memories. She pulls out a hospital bracelet. Faded plastic with barely legible text. Kwame Asante, age 3, Ridge Hospital. The bracelet falls from her fingers onto the concrete. Kweku stares at it like it might explode. Where did you get that? The doctor's voice is sharp. Kept it. Had to keep it. Proof that Kwame was real. Akosua picks up the bracelet. This is a Ridge Hospital patient band. From 16 years ago. Mama, why didn't you ever show me this? You said forget. Everyone said forget. But I don't forget my children. Car headlights sweep across the driveway again. This time it's an old battered taxi. The door opens and Uncle Kofi stumbles out. He's clearly been drinking. His shirt is wrinkled, his eyes bloodshot. Kweku, where you been? I was worried. He stops mid-sentence when he sees the group standing around the wheelbarrow. His eyes land on Mama Efua. His face goes white as chalk. Oh God, he whispers. Not now. Not like this. And that's when everyone realizes Uncle Kofi recognizes the old woman. Uncle Kofi takes 3 unsteady steps backward toward the taxi. Kofi. Mama Efua's voice cuts through the night air. You came back too. I don't know what you people think you're doing, but Kweku and I are leaving. His words slur slightly, but his eyes are sharp with panic. Uncle Kofi, how do you know this woman? The young man's voice is small, confused. I don't know her. Never seen her before in my life. The elderly woman laughs, a sound like breaking glass. Liar, you took my Kwame. I saw you. Doctor, Ya steps forward, medical bag in hand like a weapon. What is she talking about? She's sick. Confused. Kweku, get in the taxi. Now. But the street vendor doesn't move. He's staring at Uncle Kofi's face, seeing something he's never noticed before. The way his guardian's left eye twitches when he lies. The way his hands shake when he's scared, not just drunk. Uncle Kofi, tell them about the hospital job. What hospital job? Akosua holds up her phone. Ridge Hospital. Night security. You worked there 16 years ago. Lots of people work security. Doesn't mean anything. It means everything. The businesswoman's voice is ice cold. You were working the night Kwame Asante disappeared. Uncle Kofi's radio crackles in his pocket. The old high-life music sounds obscene in the tense silence. Kweku, I said, get in the taxi. No. For the first time in his life, the young man disobeys Uncle Kofi directly. Not until you explain. There's nothing to explain. This woman is sick, these people are rich troublemakers, and we're going home. Mama Efua struggles to stand from the wheelbarrow. Doctor, Ya moves to help her, but she waves him away. You carried him out in a blanket, she says to Uncle Kofi. A blue blanket with yellow ducks. I followed you to the parking lot. You're delusional. You put him in an old Datsun, white car with a dented bumper. The older man's face goes gray. Stop talking. I tried to stop you, but you said the boy would die if he stayed. Said bad people were coming for him. Shut up! The shout echoes off the mansion walls. Uncle Kofi's hands are shaking violently now. Kweku has never seen his guardian like this. The man has always been gentle, patient, kind, even when drinking. What bad people? Akosua demands. Mama Efua's eyes clear for a moment, sharp and focused. The adoption people. They were selling babies from the hospital, taking the ones with no family left. The doctor checks the hospital bracelet again. That's impossible. There would have been records, investigations. Who investigates missing poor children? Uncle Kofi's voice is bitter, especially when the paperwork says they died. The admission hangs in the air like smoke. The young man's world tilts sideways. You stole me. I saved you. Uncle Kofi lurches forward. Those people were going to sell you to some foreign family. You would have disappeared forever. So you made me disappear instead. I gave you a home, a family. I loved you. You lied to me, Kweku's voice cracks. Every day for 16 years you lied. Uncle Kofi's radio falls from his pocket, clattering on the concrete. The music stops. I was going to tell you when you turned 21. I swear on my mother's grave. When I turned 21? Or when I turned 30? Or 50? The street vendor's hands curl into fists. When exactly were you going to tell me I had a sister? Akosua steps between them. You knew about me. Uncle Kofi won't meet her eyes. I knew there was an older sister. But you were rich, educated. What did you need with a poor boy? He was my brother. And he was my son. The older man's voice breaks. The only family I ever had. Mama Efua starts crying. Soft, heartbroken sounds that make everyone stop shouting. My children are fighting, she whispers. I don't like fighting, Doctor. Ya puts his arm around his mother. Mama, let's go home. This is too much excitement. No, she pushes him away with surprising strength. Not until my children stop fighting. She looks at Kweku with eyes that are suddenly completely lucid. Kwame, Uncle Kofi loves you. He was scared. Then she turns to Uncle Kofi. And you, foolish man, you kept him from his sister. That was wrong. The older man drops to his knees on the concrete. I know it was wrong. But I couldn't lose him. He was all I had. So you made her lose him instead. The simple truth hits like a physical blow. The businesswoman's pen taps once, twice, then stops. 16 years. I spent 16 years thinking my brother was dead. I'm sorry. Uncle Kofi's voice is barely audible. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't give me back 16 years. Kweku looks between Uncle Kofi and Akosua, the man who raised him and the sister he never knew he had. Both of them broken by the same secret. What happens now? He asks. Nobody answers. The taxi driver honks his horn. Oga, you coming or not? I get other customers waiting. Uncle Kofi struggles to his feet. Kweku, please, come home with me. We can talk about this tomorrow. Talk about what? More lies? The truth. All of it. I promise. The businesswoman pulls out her phone again. Or you could come inside. Stay here tonight. We could do a DNA test, make this official. The young man looks at the mansion, then at the battered taxi, then at his wheelbarrow. Everything he owns is in that wheelbarrow. Everything he knows is with Uncle Kofi. But everything he lost is standing right in front of him. I need time to think. There's no time, Doctor. Ya says urgently. My mother needs her medication and this stress isn't good for her. Uncle Kofi takes a step toward the taxi. Kweku, if you don't come with me now, everything changes. Everything already changed. Mama Efua claps her hands suddenly. I remember now. I remember what the bad men looked like. She points a shaking finger at the mansion's security guard. He was one of them. The security guard's hand moves toward his radio. Ma'am, the old woman is clearly having an episode. We should call medical. Don't you dare touch that radio. Akoswa's voice could cut steel. Mama Efua shuffles closer to the guard, studying his face in the security lights. Younger then. No beard. But same eyes. Same cruel eyes. This is ridiculous, the guard says, but sweat beads on his forehead. I've worked for you for 3 years, ma'am. Check my references. I will. The businesswoman's fingers fly across her phone screen. What's your full name again? Joseph Mensa. Uncle Kofi's head snaps up. Mensa? You related to the Mensas from Nima? Maybe. Common name. But the older man is staring at him now with recognition dawning. You worked at Ridge Hospital. I remember you. The guard takes a step back. Never worked at any hospital. Yes, you did. Day shift security. You were the one who told me about the adoption ring. The pieces click together like a puzzle solving itself. Doctor, Yaw sets down his medical bag carefully. You told him about the adoption ring? I was trying to protect the children. Uncle Kofi's voice rises. Joseph said they were taking babies, selling them. He said Kweku would be next. The businesswoman's pen stops tapping entirely. So you decided to take him yourself. Joseph said it was the only way to save him. All eyes turn to the security guard. His hand hovers near his radio, then drops. Fine. Yes, I worked at the hospital. Yes, there was an adoption ring. But I was trying to stop it, not help it. By convincing Uncle Kofi to steal my brother? By saving a child from being sold to the highest bidder? Mama Efua shakes her head slowly. No, you were one of them. I saw you taking money. You saw wrong. I saw you put money in your pocket after they took the Ajay baby. Little girl with the cleft lip. The guard's face hardens. That old woman doesn't know what she's talking about. She knew enough to keep a hospital bracelet for 16 years, Kweku says quietly. She knew enough to keep that photograph. She's got dementia. Her long-term memory is perfect, Doctor. Yaw states. It's only recent events she forgets. The taxi driver honks again. Olga, I'm leaving. Uncle Kofi waves him away. The taxi pulls off, leaving them all stranded under the security lights. So what really happened that night? Akoswa demands. The older man rubs his face with both hands. Joseph told me the adoption people were coming for Kweku the next morning. Said they had paperwork ready, death certificate already signed. And you believed him? I was night security. Nobody told me anything. When someone in a uniform says children are in danger, you listen. The guard checks his watch. This is ancient history. The boy is alive. He's fine. What's the problem? The problem is you separated a family. The businesswoman's voice echoes across the compound. The problem is I spent 16 years thinking my brother was dead. Better than him actually being dead. Kweku steps forward. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Forget I said anything. But Mama Efua is nodding. The other children. The ones who didn't get saved. They disappeared. What other children, Doctor? Yaw asks. The Ajay baby. The Osei twins. The little boy with the burned hand. The elderly woman counts on her fingers. All gone. All sold. And you think this guard was involved? I know he was involved. I saw him. The guard's radio crackles. Another security guard's voice. Joseph, everything okay out there? Joseph grabs the radio. Everything's fine. False alarm. But his hand is shaking. The businesswoman notices. You're scared. I'm not scared of anything. Then why are you sweating? It's hot. It's 8 o'clock at night. Kweku looks at Uncle Kofi, really looks at him. 16 years of love and lies and protection and deception. Uncle Kofi, do you think he was telling the truth? About the adoption ring. The older man's shoulders sag. I don't know anymore. I was so scared that night. You were just a baby alone in the world. When Joseph said you were in danger, I didn't think. I just acted. You acted like a father, Mama Efua says gently. Wrong, but like a father. I acted like a thief. Sometimes they're the same thing. Doctor Yaw checks his mother's pulse. Mama, we should go home. You need your medication. Not yet. My children need to decide. Decide what? The young man asks. What happens next? The question hangs in the air like smoke. Akoshua adjusts her glasses. I want a DNA test. Official confirmation. And then? I don't know. I haven't had a brother for 16 years. I don't know how to have one now. Uncle Kofi kicks at the concrete. Maybe it's better if you don't. I raised him poor. He doesn't know your world. Maybe I don't want to know her world, Kweku says. Maybe I like my wheelbarrow and my phone cards and my life. Even now that you know it was built on lies, the words hit like a physical blow. The street vendor looks at his wheelbarrow, then at the mansion, then at Uncle Kofi's broken face. The lies don't change the love, he says finally. The older man's eyes fill with tears, but they don't erase the theft either. The businesswoman pulls out her business card. Take this. Think about it. When you're ready, call me. Kweku takes the card. TechFlow Africa. What do? Mobile payments. Help small businesses process transactions digitally. Like street vendors? Exactly like street vendors. For the first time all evening, the young man's interest is genuinely sparked. How? Come see me tomorrow. I'll show you. The guard clears his throat. Ma'am, should I call the police about the hospital situation? Everyone turns to stare at him. Why would you want to call the police, Doctor? Yaw asks slowly. To report the adoption ring. If it's true, there should be an investigation. After 16 years? Justice doesn't have an expiration date. But something in his voice doesn't ring true. Mama Efua grabs Kweku's arm. Don't let him call the police. Why not? Because he's not trying to help. He's trying to make sure nobody looks too closely at what really happened that night. And that's when they realize the guard is reaching for his gun.